Hello, I'm Mark Knorr, and welcome to Talking Inspiration, a series for campaign in which I interview leading figures from the creative and marketing industries and ask them what inspires them and why. Today my guest is Sir Peter Bazalgette, former chairman of Endemol, where he made Big Brother a worldwide phenomenon, and current chair of the Arts Council. Sir Peter, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, should I refer to you as Sir Peter, Peter, or I understand some people refer to you as Baz?
And I would strongly advise you to call me Baz, because the only person who calls me Peter is my wife.
Okay, well, I'll stay away from that. I've long been fascinated by the idea of inspiration itself, and I'd love to ask you where you get your inspiration from.
I'm a great believer that inspiration comes from sort of a proposition, a brief, a deadline. In other words, I don't think it comes from nowhere. And therefore, if you put yourself into a position where you're seeking inspiration, now in television terms, just to be practical about it, it came because a broadcaster would say, phone me up actually personally and say, so milk me, and say, you know, at 8 o'clock, I really think we could do with something that's a bit entertaining, but maybe it's about DIY. And you go away, and then with that, you'd say, what about this, what about that? So you need that. And of course, I know it's the same in advertising. So I'm a great believer in the stimulus. And in the world of arts, you know, you'll often find somebody will write, say, a new opera, because they've been commissioned to do it. Because somebody said to them, I want a new opera for my opera house. Will you write it, please? You're a great composer. And so inspiration for me is not just your creativity, it's the fact that somebody has provoked you.
Posed you a question? Perhaps?
Posed you a question, given you a brief. That's critical. And it's critical for anybody who manages a creative organisation, because you have to think, how many times are we putting the right question to the right people in the organisation to get the right answers? Because that's how you manage creative organisations.
I think you would have liked a career in advertising. You would have made a great creative with that kind of mindset.
I would have really enjoyed a career in advertising. I don't know if I'd have been any good at it. But I'm very jealous of people in advertising. And it's, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence.
Of course. We're talking about inspiration, and I'd love to know what's inspiring you at the moment.
What's inspiring me at the moment is the fact that despite all the quite serious problems and arguments and discussions around funding of the arts in Britain, we have an extraordinarily vibrant arts scene in the UK. And just to sort of put my finger on something, we have some amazing leaders of arts institutions who've developed world-class institutions. Just give you 4 examples, and they're people who do inspire me because I look in awe at what they've achieved. You've got Nick Sirota at the Tate, Neil McGregor at the British Museum, Nick Heitner at the National Theatre, and I have a soft spot for John Berry at English National Opera, the artistic director there, where I've been chairman.
Yes.
And these are people who are creating great programmes of culture, drawing people to Britain and making it good to live in Britain, but also sending those things out around the world with a world reputation. And they are both creative leaders of creative organisations and curators of the creatives underneath them. And it's an extraordinary time. And we will look back on this second decade in the 21st century and say, that was an extraordinary time. That was an extraordinary time of renaissance, when we had these amazing leaders with ambitious visions in the different sections of the arts.
So we've been talking about some people that inspire you. What do you think the characteristics are of inspiring people, certainly from your point of view?
Well, it's people who have extraordinary ambition and then who deliver on the ambition, who execute the ambition. And it's people who bring a whole team of people with them who deliver creatively and practically to come up with output, artistic creations, might be advertising, might be television, that inspires people. And inspires people in a way that changes their lives, makes their lives better, makes them happier, makes them more thoughtful, makes them better members of society. It's that. It's all those things. It's not just executing on it. It's the way it affects people. It's the profound way it affects people.
I'm interested in what object you have brought along today that's had a profound effect on you? Would you share it with us?
It's very small.
That's okay.
But it is very beautiful.
It is very beautiful.
And what I have here is a little maquette, a little miniature sculpture from Henry Moore himself. And it was given to me a few years ago by my wife as an incredibly special birthday present. And it's a Madonna and Child. And you see the child being held there?
Mm.
You see the mother's head bending over the child? And whatever angle you hold it at, it's both beautiful and different.
Isn't it?
As you see every perspective of it.
Mm.
So I think you should, I just need you to feel it.
Ideas in 30 seconds, ideas in 30 minutes, ideas in tangible form. Sir Peter Bazalgette, Baz, thank you very much for sharing your ideas with us.
It's a pleasure, thank you.